Go interactive with X-Ray, where we bring trading experts to you live in the platform. Choose sessions, watch live market analysis, and catch up on your favorite market insights anytime. Ask questions and go one-to-one with leading experts on gold, oil, FX, crypto, indices, and equities. X-Ray, your very own analysis team, right at your fingertips. That's higher trading from MarketsX.
2020 was a difficult year for us all. World economies have crashed. Financial markets showed us again how important it is to be aware of the global economy. And, believe it or not, many people have profited from the movements in the markets. This December, we bring you the biggest open source webinar series for beginner traders to help each and every one of you understand the basics of online trading and investments from industry experts. Learn from the CEOs is the biggest webinar series organized by InstructFX with the extraordinary participation of 5 CEOs of 5 top Forex companies worldwide. Join us live on Monday, the 14th of December at 1700 GMT for the grand opening with an amazing webinar on trading currency pairs with João Monteiro, CEO at 4XC. On Tuesday, the 15th of December, trading stocks and indices is the topic of the day with Phil Adler, CEO at ETX Capital, straight from the heart of London. Wednesday, the 16th, the week only gets better with Joe Rundle, CEO at Markets.com for an amazing webinar on trading commodities. Just when you thought that things can't get any better, on Thursday, the 17th, we have the Cryptocurrencies trading webinar with our surprise guest. Finally, on Friday the 18th, it's your time to shine in the Fidelity Gala Awards, where InstructFX is rewarding you for watching us live with amazing prizes. Join the biggest open source webinar of 2020 and learn what most Forex brokers don't want you to know from 5 reputable CEOs. Click on the link below and reserve your seat for the biggest open source webinar of 2020, hosted by yours truly, Andrew, the Chart Whisperer. Learn, observe, trade with InstructFX.
Boom, and we're live, everyone. What's happening, people? Good morning, America. Good afternoon, Europe, and welcome everyone to our live stream. How are you guys doing? What's happening? Type your comments. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know how your day went. Here we are, guys. Just 3 days till Christmas. Finally, 2020 is almost over. This is the last live broadcast of 2020, guys. We're going on holiday, and we are coming back in January, bigger, better, and more determined than ever to disrupt the Forex industry. I want to start by saying a big thank you to everyone that watched us live in the past few months, guys, even though we are a very young company. And big thank you to the ones that supported us in doing what we're doing. Big thank you to our partners at Markets.com that support us in delivering more great content. And a big thank you, Joe Rundle and Rob Wolf at Markets.com. Now, let's get down to business, guys, and see what is happening in the markets today, 22nd of December, 2020. The U.S. Congress passed a $900 billion COVID relief bill, sending it to President Donald Trump for its signature into law. U.S. stocks are set for mixed opening today on positive news on the long-awaited stimulus bill. Crude oil prices linger just above the $47 mark, waiting for crude oil inventories to be announced tomorrow. Gold futures traded higher today, eyeing the 1,900 mark. And Bitcoin, everyone's favorite, remains on the positive, trading at 23,500, recovering some of yesterday's losses and aiming towards the $24,000 mark. This show is proudly sponsored by our partners at Markets.com. U.S. markets open, coming up. Right, guys, we are back. Let's have a quick look at the economic calendar and see what is happening in the markets today. As I mentioned yesterday, the closer we get to the Christmas holiday, the less announcements we're going to have. However, today we had some announcements, and tomorrow we're going to have some interesting announcements as well. We started nice and early in the morning, guys, with the business investment sentiment in the UK, current account for the third quarter, and the gross domestic product, which surprisingly, most of them came out positive today, giving the pound a bit of a boost, a needed boost. Then we had, in the same time at 9 o'clock, the German consumer climate sentiment, which came out better than expected, even though it's still in the negative territories. At 3:30, guys, exactly 1 hour ago, we had the gross domestic product on the US dollar coming out way better than economists have predicted at 33.4% versus an expectation of 33.1%. Now we're gonna see some revisories of the numbers. I saw an article earlier on investing.com and Reuters. However, the numbers came out amazing, guys, for UK and the US as well. Now we're gonna have in 34 minutes from now the consumer confidence, which weighs heavily on the direction of the US dollar. Also, existing home sales month to month and year over year. Yeah, and just before midnight tonight, we're going to have the API weekly crude oil stock. Tomorrow, remember, guys, crude oil inventories will be announced at 5:30 GMT plus 2. Now, let's have a quick look at top 5 things to know in the markets today, guys. Then we're going to move on to the charts of the day and the signals of the day. And after that, I'm going to say goodbye to you for 2020, and I'll see you all in 2021. So, number one on the board, finally, Senate sends stimulus bill to Donald Trump for approval. The U.S. Congress passed the $900 billion COVID relief bill, sending it to President Donald Trump for its signature into law. In addition, the Senate also passed a $1.4 trillion spending bill that will keep the government funded through September. President-elect Joe Biden signaled he will push for new support package as soon as he is sworn in. Lawmakers on both sides acknowledged the shortcomings of the deal, which leaves unanswered big questions about the funding for local governments and the potential liability of business whose employees catch the COVID virus. Number 2 on the board, guys, GDP revisions in US and UK. The relatively empty data calendar will allow revised third quarter data for gross domestic product. Yeah, they were announced already. The headline annualized growth number is more likely to be revised up than down from the initial heading of 33.1% if recent experience is any guide. But the data have now largely been overtaken by new realities in any case. Right, so the numbers came out, they will be revised, but the good news is that they will be revised to the upside and not to the downside, which again will give a bit of confidence, a bit of boost to both the pound and the US dollar. Let's move on to number 3 on the board, guys, and see how analysts think the stock markets will open today. Stocks set to open mixed today. US stock markets are set to open mixed after a surprisingly resilient performance on Monday, when the sight of the country's banks gearing up to resume stock buybacks calmed fears about a fresh surge in the pandemic from the new strain of COVID-19 virus detected in Europe and Africa. Stocks likely to be in focus later today include the Alphabet, the ex-Google, and Facebook after fresh revelations about the extent of their cooperation in the online advertising market. Then the two have come to dominate. Traders will also be looking at SolarWinds. Stock can build its 13% bounce on Monday after a 40% drop in response to news about the devastating hack on U.S. government agencies that exploited weakness in the system. Now, a few very interesting stocks to have a look at today, guys. Apple is one of them. Apple revives self-driving car project. Very, very interesting. We see some more direct competition for Tesla, which yesterday got listed on the S&P 500 for the first time. So Apple has revived these plans to build and market self-driving cars, and it's targeting a product launch in 2024, Reuters reported overnight. The company had eased off on its so-called Project Titan after seeing the problems encountered by such as Uber and Google, and they laid off nearly 200 people on the project last year. However, Reuters reported that its designs have advanced to a point where it can plan on hitting the mass market in little over 3 years. It cited a new battery designed that could radically reduce the cost of batteries and increase the vehicle's range. Very good performance for Apple. I'm really curious to see how the markets will open this afternoon, guys. And last but not the least, oil edges lower, number 5 on the board, guys. API data due. Crude oil prices edged down again in quieter trade overnight after a bruising drop on Monday in response to fears that the discovery of the new strain of the COVID-19 virus in the UK could lead to wider and longer lockdowns in the new year. And we saw the result already. Many countries have increased the lockdown measures. And yesterday, many countries have announced that they cut all ties with the United Kingdom until further news. The UK and France are still negotiating over how and when to reopen the Channel Tunnel, a vital artery for trade, which was closed on Sunday night as part of a general ban on arrivals from the UK. The closure threatens to cause shortages of fresh food in the UK, a big net importer, if not quickly addressed. Later in the session, the American Petroleum Institute will report its weekly assessment of U.S. Crude oil inventories. Right, these are the top 5 things to know in the markets today, guys. I'll tell you what. Let's take a 30-second break, and then we're coming back live with the charts of the day and the signals of the day for the last time this year. What do you say, guys? Are you ready? All right. We're coming back live in 30 seconds with the charts of the day. Stay tuned.
Keep your finger on the market pulse with the News Alerts tool. Stay up to date on the latest sentiment across all the major asset classes. Uncover bullish or bearish signals tied to specific assets that could be developing before major price moves, and track how news sentiment correlated with price in the past. Track the news volume on an asset, its fear index, and get a better feel for its underlying strength. All with News Alerts, your central hub for market information. That's higher trading from MarketsX.
Right, guys, and we are back with the charts of the day. We see a bit of movement on the markets today, despite everything else that's going on. We're going to start with crude oil futures, guys, on a 60-minute chart. As usual, 47.25 for crude oil futures this afternoon. We see a negative opening, a negative reaction after the U.S. Open, guys. Probably we're going to see crude oil targeting the 46.60 level, as that's the previous high. We see the RSI and the stochastic turning around, not even being able to enter the overbought levels, turning around and then pointing downwards. Let's have a quick look at the European currencies, guys, see what happened today. There we go. We saw the euro doing fairly well this morning. We saw a positive opening for the euro, but it started tumbling 3 hours ago. 122.26 for the euro USD as things stand right now. Again, with a very weak RSI and stochastic, not being able to go into overbought territories, indicating a bit of selling power this afternoon. Also, the price is well supported by that 200 moving average. Don't be surprised if we're going to see a retest of that 200 moving average to the downside, at 121.87 for euro USD. Now, let's move on to the pound and see how is the pound doing today. The pound and the euro, both currencies, have recovered after the losses they had yesterday. Big losses for both European currencies yesterday. We can see the recovery on both of them. And so far, 133.82 for the pound versus the US dollar. Again, with the RSI and the stochastic pointing downwards, and with the price moving below that 200 moving average. Again, indicating quite a bit of selling power on the pound. Well, I'm not surprised considering the news that came from the UK, and that most countries cut all the ties with UK until further notice. We're moving on to USD Jpy this afternoon, guys. 103.53, 2 minutes into the US trading session. We see the US dollar trading a bit higher this afternoon, eyeing that 200 moving average to the upside at 103.61. Yeah, only 7-8 points from the current market price. Let's see what's going to happen. If the price will manage to settle above that 200 moving average, we might see a trend reversal, guys. We might see a reversal of the trend, taking the dollar from the downtrend that pinned the dollar a month ago into an uptrend. Let's see what's going to happen. We're moving on to the US, to the Aussie dollar, guys. The Aussie dollar took a beating today on the Asian and on the European trading session. 0.7533 for the Aussie dollar this afternoon. And as the markets open, we can see the Aussie dollar pushing sharply lower. Probably traders will eye the 0.75 level flat for a first short position. And if the short position will continue, then probably they're going to go below the 0.75 level to somewhere around 0.7475, somewhere there. Another 25 points below the psychological support level. Now, RSI stochastic pointing downwards, indicating a bit of selling power on the Aussie dollar and a bit of strength on the US dollar. Let's see if that's correct. We're moving on to the USD Cad, guys, on a 60-minute chart. 129.06 for the USD Cad this afternoon. RSI stochastic pointing upwards. We can see it is a quite impressive rally that the US dollar had versus the Canadian dollar in the last couple of hours. There is great potential to the upside, guys. 129.59 will be very likely the first take profit target for the upside for traders, and if that level will be reached, then probably they will eye for the 130 level. But let's see what's going to happen. Let's have a quick look at the benchmarks, guys. The S&P 500 and the Dow Jones. Negative opening for the S&P this afternoon. Again, we might see a retest to the downside to that 200 MA at 36.28 from 36.92, the current market price. Let's have a quick look at the Dow. The Dow, again, negative opening for the Dow Jones as well. 316088 for the Dow as things, 3124, sorry, for the Dow as things stand right now. Again, keep an eye on that 200 MA to the downside at 29677, guys. We might see the US indices retesting that 200 MA. RSI stochastic, both turn around, indicating a bit of selling power on the markets. Let's move on. Let's have a look at Apple, guys. See how Apple is doing after the big announcement. There we go. Positive opening for Apple. What a big gap. What a big jump for Apple. $130.59 for Apple this afternoon. Great potential to the upside. Great potential to the upside for Apple. The US dollar index, guys, is doing a bit better. 92.45 for the US dollar index this afternoon. It is aiming higher. We might see it testing that 200 MA to the upside at 90.41. Yeah, with both RSI and stochastic pointing upwards. Let's see what's going to happen. Let's have a quick look and see if we have any more announcements. Yeah, in 23 minutes, we're going to have the consumer confidence on the US dollar and existing home sales, guys. Probably that's why the US dollar index didn't take off as expected after the opening. If consumer confidence and home sales come out in green, guys, brace for volatility. We might see the US dollar retesting that 200 MA to the upside. Now, if the US dollar goes up, we know one thing, guys. Gold futures go down 18.83 and 10 cents this afternoon for gold futures after a very shy European trading session. RSI stochastic, again, pointing downwards, indicating a bit of selling power. We might see a retest to the downside of that 200 moving average at 1869.57. Right, we're going to have a look at some trading signals in a minute, guys, and see what consensus thinks about the major assets today. Meanwhile, we're moving on to Brent oil futures, $50.11 for Brent oil futures. We see a dead cross to be formed between the 50 and the 200. They make great potential to the downside for crude oil and Brent oil futures. And if that's the case, probably traders will set their first take profit levels at 49.58 or somewhere in that region, as that's the previous low. If the downwards movement will continue, probably you're going to see a 49 flat as the first target to the downside. Right, silver futures, guys. Let's see what is happening with silver. $26.08 for silver futures this afternoon. Again, a very weak performance on the European trading session after silver futures dropped a few dollars on the Asian trading session. Let's see what's going to happen. Again, there's more. There seems to be more potential to the downside for silver and gold than to the upside. We might see a retest at 25.44 for silver futures. At least that's where the 200 moving average is. Right, Tesla. How is Tesla doing after the listing, guys? Right, the hype is over. It's gone. Tesla is currently trading at $639.45 to the downside after it jumped as high as $694 the previous day. All right, let's see what's going to happen next. And now Bitcoin, guys, everyone's favorite. $23,492 for Bitcoin this afternoon after performing a teacup shape, a U shape. We see the correction starting. Probably everyone is aiming for a correction of 100%. And if that's the case, they're going to set their first take profit targets at $24,149. This is the potential for Bitcoin as things stand right now. But we know Bitcoin has the ability to jump $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 up or down in no time. Okay, so aiming for a $600 take profit is not unseen, is not unheard of in currency pairs, and it shows great potential. In the same time, Ethereum, guys, just like Bitcoin, recovered from the losses this afternoon. $618.02 for Ethereum. We see a death cross being formed by the 50 and the 200 MA to the downside, unfortunately. Let's see what's going to happen with Ethereum. If Ethereum finds the strength to push and settle above the 200 MA at 622.56, then we might see it pushing even higher. And if that's the case, probably traders will eye for the $667 dollar mark as the first take profit target for Ethereum. Now, let's have a quick look at some trading signals, guys, and see what analysts think about the markets today. We are already 10 minutes into the US trading session. We see 3 red on the European currencies versus the US dollar. 3 strong sell positions on the euro and the pound versus the dollar. We see USD Jpy and USD CHF opening with strong buy positions on a 5-minute and a 15-minute chart. The daily remains a strong sell, though, so careful with that one. We see the Aussie dollar with strong sell positions after the US markets open. The euro, 4 green for the euro versus the British pound. Great potential to the upside for the euro. Great potential to the downside for the pound. USD Canadian again shows us 3 green this afternoon. A bit of strength indicated on the US dollar. The Kiwi dollar versus the US dollar is supposed to weaken a bit. 3 red, 3 strong sell positions for the Kiwi dollar. And as we get to the bottom of the chart, we're looking at the euro with 4 green, 4 buy positions on versus the CHF, and the pound set to weaken versus its other peers, versus the Japanese yen, versus the CHF, and versus the euro this afternoon. Let's have a quick look at commodities, guys. So it starts making sense. It started making sense shortly after the US markets open. Let's see what is happening with commodities, guys. Maybe I can help you a bit with some trading signals on commodities. Right, very undecided. Gold futures this afternoon, very, very undecided. We see a strong sell on a 5-minute chart, and the daily remains a strong buy. Nothing in between. Silver futures, 3 strong sell positions as things stand right now, with the daily remaining a strong buy. Copper futures, 3 strong sell, 3 red for copper. Crude oil, WTI, and Brent oil again set to weaken, guys. 3 red for crude oil, WTI, and Brent oil futures. The only one that's supposed to do a bit better is US wheat, guys, with 4 green, 4 strong buy, and natural gas with strong buy positions on a 15 minutes, hourly, and daily. All right, let's have a quick look at some stocks. As you got used by now, I'm always showing you some stocks in the US trading session. Right, 4 green for Apple this afternoon, 4 strong buy positions, 3 red on Exxon Mobil. Microsoft, somewhere between sell and buy, it's neutral. We can't really say for Microsoft what's going on. Procter & Gamble shows 2 green, 2 strong buy positions on a 5-minute and 15-minute charts. IBM is set to weaken a bit with strong sell position. Johnson & Johnson and General Electric as well. As we move towards the bottom of the chart, guys, we see AT&T and Chevron with 4 red, 4 strong sell positions. And this is it, basically. This is it. Alphabet, strong sell again, 4 sell positions for Alphabet and Walmart. Right, this is it, guys. This is what's happening with the markets. There is potential. There still is a bit of potential before Christmas. There still is a bit of potential before the year end, and there's still a bit of potential for the world economy. Now, these were the good news that I brought you today, guys. The stimulus bill was approved. Hopefully, UK will sort out the issue. We'll find a fast solution for the new COVID strain that was found in the UK, pushing the other countries to cut the ties with the UK. And we're only 3 days away from Christmas, guys. So I'm going to take this opportunity once again to thank every single one of you that helped us and supported us in delivering more great content. Big thank you to markets.com once again for making this possible. Yeah, and big thank you to everyone that will watch us in the new year. We are coming back beginning of January, guys, with a new format, more exciting format, more exciting contest, more guests, yeah, and more opportunities for everyone. This was it from my side today, guys. Remember, sometimes less is more. Sometimes family versus trading weighs more for the soul. This was it from my side, guys. Have a lovely Christmas. Have a happy new year, everyone. And I'll see you all in January. Until then, remember to trade responsibly and may all your trades be in the money. Andrew the Chart Whisperer. Over and out.